Hey, are we back in? Hopefully so. Let me know in the chat below if you guys can see and hear me just fine. The wall of Murphy has always been in place, and as soon as I went live, my internet connection dropped. So let me know in the comments below if you guys can hear me just fine so we can begin this live session. Great. So this live will be broken down in a couple of different sections. In the beginning, I would like to describe how it would be, how the live would go on. Later down the live, everyone will have between 3 to 5 minutes for a page audit, meaning I will tune in the timer, which you guys can see right now. And inside, with the help of this timer, I will be visiting pages and giving you feedback at least for 3 minutes, and the maximum would be 5 minutes. This way, every single person in the chat right now would have the ability to get their page audited and hopefully draw some value from it. So without further ado, let's start with the page review. I will start with the first one, which dropped their handle, which was 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗧𝗂. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Let me just share the camera right here. Let's begin the timer and let's start. So we will start by going in the page and covering every single element of the page itself. We will cover the handle, we will cover the Instagram highlights that you're using, your bio, headline, everything. So starting off with your profile picture, I quite like it. I believe it is nice. You are utilizing some bright colors in your t-shirt, which makes it pop off. One thing that I would probably utilize is adding some kind of solid background behind you, or at least something which can be associated with your feed later on. For example, I'm using the red color. That would just give your profile picture that extra oomph and enable you to stand out in the comment section in the small sizes of Instagram. So this is the first thing. Secondly, in terms of your handle, you have gone the safe route, you have utilized your name, totally fine. Now, in terms of your headline, which currently says 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗧𝗂 Sales Coach, most of the people who are going to be visiting your page, they have already seen your handle, meaning that they already know your name. So there's no need to repeat your name inside of the headline. That's why I recommend you leaving the headline only for keywords related to what you're offering. In this case, sales coaching. I definitely recommend you utilizing the headline as much as possible for keywords because this will enable you to later on be found in the search results because the headline and the handle are searchable on Instagram. So drop the first part of the headline, which covers your handle once again, and leave your headline only for keywords related to your industry. The first line of your bio, which is one of the most important ones, I will teach you to increase sales in your business. Fine. I would like some extra specificity, meaning if you can go more in depth and niche down on what kind of businesses you can help, that can help you tremendously. Learning and teaching techniques for sales. Now, this first part of the second line confuses me a bit. Learning and teaching techniques. If you wanted to say that you're documenting your journey, you don't have a lot of experience, I believe that there are way better ways to do that because right now it seems like you are just repeating what you're learning and I cannot trust you. So for that reason, I do recommend you changing that first part of the second line. And then your call to action for more sales techniques is okay. I would add more clarity on what will happen after I click your link in bio, because right now there is no way for me to know if you're bringing me to a sales page, if you're bringing me to a freebie. So I would give more clarity on what exactly you're offering in that link in bio and what would happen if I click it. Now, later on, the highlights, YouTube viral reels, moments, opportunity. these are fine, but because you're a new profile, I do recommend you adding some kind of social proof. So in your case, it might be testimonials which you have received. It might be some case studies which you have done for your clients. So I do believe that you can add something as a social proof in your highlights. We have 1 minute left, so let's dive straight in your content. I see that you're utilizing reels. Good for you. I see that you're also utilizing carousels. Great. So you are using the latest content formats. Having said that, one thing that stands out, and I'm sure the people in the chat can see as well, is that you're not utilizing a consistent visual identity. Meaning your second post, how to become a great salesperson, it's a red background with yellow typography. Then you have blue background with yellow typography. Then you have some kind of elements in this reel cover and blue typography. So I heavily recommend you finding the visual identity that works for you. So we have 30 seconds left. I hope that this has been super helpful for you. Leave your thoughts in the chat if you have anything you'd like me to cover as well, or just simply DM me on Instagram. So I hope that you guys love this preview of the audios that we're going to be doing in this YouTube live. I would be super grateful if you can smash the like button, because this will help us reach more people and get more people in and enjoying the value. I will jump straight into the next person who left a comment after the Brian, which was Alexander. So Alec Octopus. Let's reset the timer and let's begin. Give me 1 second. I'm still a noob when it comes down to streaming. So the next person who we are going to be reviewing is Alec Octopus. So Alec, same thing with you. Your handle, which says Alec and then Octopus, is okay. I believe that Octopus is a bit brief and lacks clarity, doesn't have any keyword power in your specific industry, but I guess that it plays a big role in your branding. But I definitely think if your handle is the best place to add this branding. I, for example, use brave elements a lot in my social media presence, but I don't use it in my handle because the handle should be reserved for keywords. In your case, I would probably do sales Alec or something of that kind in order to get the keyword in my handle, and that way I wouldn't waste any space, because the handle is the most searchable element of your Instagram profile. Having said that, moving on to the headline, you have these two keywords, sales and closing. Good job for you. I believe that if you play a little bit around with your handle, bring in some of the keywords there, then you can add some branding in the headline. In terms of your profile picture, I like that you have the logo behind you, but I'm not sure how often you use this logo in your content. So is this something which you're trying to create a brand around, or is this something which you just used to have? Because I remember you didn't have a profile picture with you in the beginning. So I would definitely retake this profile picture, have you more in a focus, such as the profile picture that the Brian had, and remove the logo in the background. Just use your brand colors, which are dark blue and light brown, which I quite like. In terms of the bio, now here is the juicy part. The first line, which is the most important line of your bio, if someone isn't caught in the first line of your bio, there is no reason for them to read the rest. Is hella weak. So I definitely think that starting your first line with something which is focused so much on yourself, such as saying founder or business owner of X, Y, and Z, is a wasted opportunity. So in this case, I would definitely play around with the first line of the bio and make sure it is focused on the user, meaning how are you helping people? Obviously, in the headline, you're saying sales and closing, but how exactly? Give more clarity. The first line of your bio is super important. It has to make people want to learn the rest. Then the second line, social proof, costs more than 850 euros. Okay, your brand new account, you can use this social proof. Let's jump to the fourth line, right now, which is get daily live coaching for $7. This again is a really nice call to action. 𝗨𝗀𝗂𝗧𝗂, you can take a look at how he is using it because he's super clear on what people are going to be receiving. So in this case, your call to action, your fourth line is great. The problem which I have is that currently in your bio, in the 4 lines you have 2 call to actions. Meaning the first one is follow me and learn how to get clients. And then the second one is get daily live coaching. There are many studies out there that show that when you add more than 1 call to action, the effectiveness of both call to actions or 3 call to actions significantly drop. So in this case, I would probably just leave the call to action, which is about your monetization, and scrap the rest. In terms of your highlights, the first thing that stands out to me is that the first highlight and the fourth highlight have one very specific style. They are really line intensive, whilst the second and third, they are more of a vector character. So these two have completely different vibes to them. So I definitely recommend you either making the first and fourth more vectorized as well, or making the second and the third more line-ish as well. Moving on to the content, and we have 30 seconds left. I quite like what you're trying to do. You're inserting yourself inside of your content, which is a great way to build a brand. You also seem to be playing around with your visual identity whilst keeping some templates, which I'm sure help you a lot in terms of the production time. Having said that, this might turn a little boring for people, especially when they're scrolling in their feed, because there is no way for me to know unless I read your copy if this post right here and this post right here are the same or are they new ones. That's why when people are quickly scrolling and they see the power of a fun yet premium service, and then they see top 5 sales power action words, they actually might be thinking that this is the same post and not engage with the second one. That's why I recommend you playing around with changing your visual identity while keeping some of the fundamentals in place. So this has been your review, Alex. I hope that you draw some value from it. By the way, I see that people are spamming in the chat to review their profiles. This is completely normal. Rest assured though, I will have time to review most of your profiles, so you don't have to spam. The way I'm looking at this audit is whoever has left the comments first will get their page reviewed first. So even if you're spamming 10,000 times, you're still behind in the sections. So no need to spam. I will get to you later on. Alec, I would appreciate if you leave a comment saying if this has been helpful. That way I will know how to proceed with the further reviews. The next person we have is the Digi Wizard. I'm really fond of this name. Great job on the branding. Let's reset our timer and let's dive straight into it. Okay. The Digi Wizard. Let's check your profile right now. Okay. Hello, Rahul. Great to see you. Now, the first thing that I'm noticing with every single account which we have reviewed this for is the handle. Up until now, we don't really have any weak handles. I have liked every single one of them. The thing that stands out to me right now is an inconsistency though. The handle, the Digi Wizard, you have Digi, which is a keyword, that's fine. Then you have some branded elements, that's fine as well. Having said that, I don't see you utilizing this branded element, the wizard part, in your bio, nor your content. So for me, this branded element right here is worthless in comparison to what Alec did, the person who reviewed before. He had Octopus in his handle, which was a branded element, but then he utilized this Octopus everywhere in his content. So I definitely recommend you doing something else. If you want to keep your handle this way, then try to find ways to utilize magic wizardry in your content and in your bio. Moving along, the headline Rahul Mark thing. I believe that marketing is a really good keyword if you have a lot of traffic coming to your profile. Meaning in your case, because you're still a relatively small profile, you don't have a lot of profile visits coming in, meaning you don't really have a lot of authority in the eyes of Instagram. That's why I would use more specific and more niche down keywords, such as digital marketing or digital marketing for in India. So I would niche down the keywords that I'm utilizing. Moving onwards to your profile picture, I quite like it. You have utilized bright colors, you are in the center, and you are clearly visible. So I don't have any feedback based on your profile picture. In terms of the highlights, I believe that there is definitely room for improvement. I see that you are utilizing this first highlight as a social proof highlight. Having said that, I definitely think that you can tell more about your story, more about who you are and how you can help others in this section right here. Highlights are extremely important because they enable you guys to keep people on your profile for longer periods of time. And the more time a person spends on your profile, the better it is in terms of conversion rate, meaning are you going to be able to turn a profile visit into a follower? So in this case, I would definitely add further highlights. In terms of your bio, let's start from the bottom. The call to action, DM me for questions and inquiries. This again is really basic call to action, which isn't there isn't anything wrong with it. But if we take a look at what Alec Octopus did, I would definitely make sure that this call to action has more specifics. Meaning, how can you help people? So DM me for any questions regarding digital marketing can be your call to action, and that would be far stronger call to action. Another thing that you can do is definitely play around with the lines which are above and make sure you prime your audience. But I still think that the call to action should be more specific than this. Another thing is that right now your link in bio is probably going to take me to LinkedIn. First, Instagram doesn't really like you taking people outside of the platform, yet alone to a different social media platform. So I would probably remove this LinkedIn link, because right now what it seems to me is DM me for any questions. I click the link in bio, I go to LinkedIn and I start DMing you there, whilst I believe you'd like people to DM you on Instagram. That remove the link, LinkedIn link you have right here, and on call to action without any link. This is actually something that I did for my first 50,000 followers on Instagram, so you can definitely utilize this as well. Now, moving forwards to the second and third line, I believe that you're trying to be too many things to too many people. You're covering design for brands, you're covering domination on social media, you're also a digital marketing consultant. So I would definitely focus on fewer things, but make them higher quality. So in this case, you might focus specifically on social media, you might focus specifically on brand design, you might specifically focus on consulting in the digital marketing space, but I would tighten down your presence in your bio. So I hope that this has been helpful, Rahul. Leave your comment in the chat so I can know how I can improve further on. And we are going to be continuing with these page audits for 40 more minutes. So there is plenty of time to review your profile. Give me a moment to sip from my coffee. Branded element right here as well. Lion, roaring, bravery. So this is the level of branding that you guys can be doing. Moving forwards, live creator Armin was the next person who submitted his profile. So let's start the timer right now and let's get going. Give me a second to find the profile. I appreciate every single one of you guys who is in the live right now. I don't want you guys to be worrying that you are going to be missing this opportunity. I plan on making a lot more of these lives in the future. So all you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel and be notified when I do my next live. Let's turn the camera once again and let's get going with the next profile. So live creator 11 and Armin, these have been one of the most consistent people I have seen on Instagram, and it would be a pleasure to review your profile. So starting out with your handle, I believe that it's fine. It's not specific. It doesn't have a lot of keywords, but it's short and simple, which I quite like. I can remember it really easily. Let's check your stories. Let's see what you have here. So you have 4 stories in the last 24 hours, which is great. I recommend you doing 3 to 5 stories a day. The first story is something which is probably a promotional story. The second one is a post you will need to read every day, so make sure you save it. This is serving someone else content, which is great. So this is another promotional story. And this is another story in which you're sharing someone else's content. So in terms of your story strategy, you need to be thinking the same way as you are your posts on your profile. It's super important to give a reason for your audience to come back to your stories. Meaning, if someone is visiting your stories daily, if someone is trying to extract the value from your stories, you need to be delivering that value. And in that case, I would be doing some tips, tricks, something which would be beneficial and would add extra value to your content in your feed. So I wouldn't only share my feed post in my stories and be done for. I would share it, I would do a poll, I would interact further in my stories, I would add a bonus tip, I would try to give a reason for my audience to visit my stories. So this is definitely something which I see you not doing as well. Let's move on to the most important elements in your profile, which is the headline and the bio. In this case, the headline, Levon and Armin, you can use your names because you haven't used them in your handle. Mindset coaches. Mindset is a keyword, coach is a keyword. Now, in this case, because you guys are a team of 2 people, you have to use the plural version of coach chess, which isn't as highly searchable as coach, for example. So I am really split on if you guys should be using this plural version, coaches, or if you should keep it mindset coach or mindset coaching, something of that lines. Because right now you are hurting your keyword strengths. And I see that you guys haven't used spaces here, which is probably because you don't have space for your headline. So I would search for alternatives to this word right here, coaches. You might do coaching, which is still stronger than coaches. You might do only coach because yes, you guys are 2 people, but you help in as a team. So I would definitely play around with this. Now, with your bio, let's start from the bottom again. Sign up for free newsletter to follow us in a free investment for you. Okay, so the call to action which you have in the third line, sign up for a free newsletter. Okay, I would add further specifics, see what kind of newsletter you're going to be bringing me, what kind of value you're going to be bringing me in order to give further incentive for people to join. Other than that, the next thing that I have in terms of your profile is that you have 2 call to actions. So right here you say sign up. Right here you're pleading to follow you. So again, something which I mentioned to Alec, you need to keep your call to actions to the minimum. The other thing that I'm noticing is that you have a link tree. Now this is good if you have a lot of links and you have a lot of website traffic. But in your case, when I presume that signing up to your free newsletter is a priority, I would keep this link heading straight to the sign up for your newsletter page form, but I wouldn't add it in a link tree because right now you need from the users to make 2 clicks instead of 1. They need to click your profile, they need to click your link, they need to click on the Linktree link, and then they need to sign up their information. Whilst if this link gets people straight to a form, then it's only 1 click. So they click, they sign up, it's done. So this way you are adding friction, which will reduce your conversion rate. So I would definitely play around with this link, probably do different campaigns. So 1 month I would focus on getting people to my newsletter. The next month I would focus to bring them to the podcast. So do different campaigns for 1, 2 or weeks or a month, in which you focus to one specific link. This is my advice for people who don't get a lot of website traffic. Now, moving onwards to the highlights, this is a great way to position your highlights. You have a highlight about you, you have testimonials, you have some freebies right here. I quite like what you have done. So overall, a really strong profile, a lot of consistency right here. Kudos for all the work that you have done. I hope that this has been helpful. And I hope that the people in the chat right now are also getting value from this. As mentioned, I will review as many profiles as possible. And I have going to be reviewing profiles based on the order they were submitted. So you don't have to spam. I will get to you eventually. Thank you so much for the patience. The next profile which was submitted was that of Fit with Reshap. By the way, sorry if I'm butchering your names. I get this done quite a bit to me specifically, but I'm doing my best. So Fit with Reshap was the next profile. I found him. Let's dive straight into it. So let's start with the handle. Fit with Reshap. This is a strong handle. It has a keyword. It has your name. Great. Your headline. I wouldn't use your name again because you already mentioned it in your handle. So I would scratch that and I would use your headline, which currently is Reshap Psyche, to enter more keywords. So in this case, I would enter keywords which are related to your industry. So fitness, probably nutrition, exercise, etc. So this is for the headline. In terms of the profile picture, I believe that you can crop it a little bit better, zoom in just a tiny bit, and make sure you are in the center. That way, I believe that the profile picture will be way stronger. Now, in terms of the category of your profile, which is currently health and wellness website, yes, category of accounts is great when you can find the right one. But I don't believe that you are a website because this refers to blogs. You are a personal brand, so I would probably change it to coaching, coach, public figure, something similar. Moving onwards with the rest of the bio, the first line, software developer, this is something which is regarding you as a person. So I wouldn't really focus on that. I would focus more on how you can help people. So this I can help you with holistic weight loss, healthy lifestyle. So this is probably going to be the first thing that I would say in my bio. And then I would probably remove both of these, software developer, nutrition-based fitness, and probably either use one of them in the call to action. The first line you can remove us altogether. I presume that you have included it in your about me. So you can focus straight on nutrition-based fitness. So you can have a call to action such as DM me for nutrition-based fitness tips, or DM me or follow me for nutrition-based fitness tips. So I would use this second line as a call to action and place it in the fourth spot. Now, in terms of the content, this is the thing that I want to focus the most on right now. I believe that there are a lot of styles that you're trying to bring in your feed. You're using videos, you're using single images, but I don't think that you have a visual consistency. Meaning, if someone sees your post individually, let's say this post, there is no way for them to know that this post was made by you. The same thing is about this post. No way for me to know that this was made by you. And what is even worse is that throughout time, this inconsistency will make your audience confused. Whilst in comparison, if you take a look at my posts, every single post has something in common. Colors, imagery that I utilize, even the darkness and the elements that I use are in common. So when someone sees my post, even without seeing my name, they can guess that this has been made by me. So you need to create a similar visual identity for yourself in order for your audience to recognize you more easily in their home feed and engage with you. So I believe that this was plenty of feedback. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Let's move onwards with the next profile. By the way, can you guys hear me fine? Please leave your thoughts in the chat right now so I can make sure that the stream is going fine and you guys can get as much value as possible. I'm really glad that this was helpful, Armin. Stoked to hear it. Hello, Josh. Great to meet you again. Okay, let's move on to the next person. So the next person was Abhishek, Wealth Activator. Let's check his profile. Wealth Activator. Oh, oops. Don't mind me, I just can't spell. Okay. Sales, IG coach, Wealth Activator. Okay, so I presume that this is, have I skipped someone? No, yours, 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧, yours is next. So rest assured, I will cover it. Now, this is one of the typical pages that I see quite a lot on Instagram. Usually there are team pages, such as, let's say, business mentor or e-commerce mentor. There's nothing wrong with these kinds of pages, especially when done like you have branded your post, which is fine. But you have to keep in mind that this kind of positioning, which isn't really personal, will have certain limitations. So I'm not sure if you're part of any engagement groups or if you're part of any engagement pods or you are utilizing follow-on-follow methodologies for growth. A lot of these pages, a lot of these team pages are utilizing something similar to grow. You have to be super mindful of these things because although you can get followers, these followers oftentimes aren't as engaged, aren't part of a community, and there is no separation between you and someone else who is posting the same kind of content. So I would definitely be super careful with this kind of team pages. Having said that, you are one of the people who are doing this correctly, so I believe that there is potential. Dorota, I haven't missed your page. Yours is after 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗨. Now, let's move on directly to the review. The first line, sales IG coach. These are both really strong keywords. That's fine. I believe that you have a lot more characters left, so I would use more keywords in your headline. Now, in terms of your bio, I like that you are utilizing emojis right here, but I don't think that these heart emojis are the best ones for your page. After all, your style, from what I can see, is entrepreneurial. You are using darker color schemes, so I would probably change the emojis that I'm using right here in order to match my visual aesthetic a little bit more. In terms of your first line in bio, helping you unlock your full potential, that's super cliche, the first thing. And the second thing, this isn't really specific enough. In the headline, you're saying that you are a sales and IG coach. And then in your first line, you're saying that you help people unlock their full potential. So the flow is broken. How you are not specific enough in the first line, and because I am primed to think that this is a sales and IG coach page, and when I see this first line, it's more of a motivational / business page. So I would definitely focus on making the first line a little bit more specific. Again, focused on you, your followers, your audience, but a tad bit more specific to the headline and what you're trying to achieve with your content. The second line, I teach you what schools don't. Again, this is a cliche. I would be super careful with that. The third and fourth line, these are both call to action lines, and we already have discussed this, but utilizing 2 call to actions is a big mistake. So you need to be super, super careful about that. I like that you're utilizing emojis, so GME brain for mindset hacks. Having said that, again, 2 call to actions will reduce the effectiveness of both. What I would probably do is make sure that the third line, which is currently GME brain for mindset hacks, this would be the only line that is left, and I would change mindset hacks to something which plays off sales and IG coaching. So in this case, I would leave only 1 call to action, the third one, and I would make sure that it matches the headline, which in your case is sales and IG. The headline, the highlights I quite like. Again, the aesthetics, your brand, you have branded everything, that's fine. You just need to be super careful about this, the future of your page, because as mentioned, it doesn't have as much strength as a personal brand, for example. I hope that this has been helpful. Let's straight move on to the next one because I want to cover as many people as possible and give as much value as possible. Thank you so much for everyone who is sticking with me. Okay, the next page is Jujutsu Guiden. Again, I'm probably butchering all the names. Sorry about that. Okay. Let's check it out. Yep, this is the page. Okay. Now, the first, I can't really comment on the handle because I'm not really into this type of content, so I'm not sure if these are keyword intensive. Having said that, I quite like the headline. You have keywords which are relevant to your industry, and then you play off of this in the bio as well. Having said that, the first line, which is awesome content, is probably one of the most worthless things that you can put out there. Content is subjective. So in your case, someone might think that your content is awesome. Someone else might think that it is garbage. So there's no reason for you to use this as your first line. I would dive straight into what my page is about. So in your case, it's fact, theories, memes, predictions. Having said that, I would probably make sure that this is relevant to my audience. So if it's a random fact about when USA has been created, it's pointless. If it is some kind of theory about aliens living in a different planet, it's pointless as well. So you guys need to make sure that you are giving specifics in your bio. So in your case, I would probably make the first line something about what you're covering in your content. So the anime, I presume, or the manga that you're covering, that would be my first line. And then the second line can be facts, theories, memes, predictions. And the third line can be follow my page for awesome Jujutsu Kaisen content. So the third line can be a call to action. In terms of the highlights, I would develop some highlight covers. It's hella easy to make in Canva, so you can definitely play around with that. In terms of your content, you're using IGTV, you're using carousels, you're utilizing some single images. The first thing that I see though is that your text on your images is really hard to read. So if you took a look at the review that we made previously on Wealth Activator, he made sure to put some gradients behind his text. That way it was way easier to read. But right now your single images are really, really hard to read. Your carousels are better, but you need to work on these single images. The memes, I know that for your kind of pages, the memes work great. So I would probably utilize them a tad bit more. And I would develop a strategy because as I can see, you're trying to create a consistent feed. So you're posting a carousel, you're posting a meme, and then you're posting a single image, carousel, meme, single image, carousel, meme, single image. So I would definitely keep this consistency in your feed. So I hope that this has been helpful to Jujutsu Gaiden. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am following the list in the chat. So the first people who have submitted their handles in the chat when the live stream began, I'm following that list. So after we cover Jujutsu Kaisen, now it is time for Dorota with Jobun Nayacht, then Success Psyche. Then we have Traveling Flag, the Mukesh Kumar. So I'm following that list. I think that we have time for 5 more audits. So I will be reviewing these 5 pages. I just received a question in the chat by Debrian. If you start today with 0 followers, then which things do you focus to grow your page? In the beginning, the most important thing is engagement. So you need to engage with other people, other pages, other community members. And in order to do that, I actually made a reel. So you can go check it out in my Instagram page. Let's dive straight into the next review. Okay, give me a second. I will tune it in. Okay, this is the next page. Now, in terms of the profile picture, I avoid using text in profile pictures because in small sizes, for example, if you comment on your post, or if you try to look at your profile picture when it is in small sizes, text doesn't work really well. So I would change my profile picture to focus only on the icon that you have, and you can use the full logo on, let's say, your website. So make the profile picture only your icon so it is legible in small sizes. In terms of the handle, quite like it. In terms of the headline, now here is where I don't see consistencies. So for me, as someone, okay, I teach you how to land a job on a yacht. Okay, so this is your niche. Yet in your headline, there is nothing peculiar saying that you're going to be offering yacht services, so civil services for yachts. So I'm not sure if you understand this completely, but you need to make sure that your headline, one of the most searchable elements, your bio isn't searchable on Instagram, your headline is. So you need to make sure your headline describes your services. And in your case, I would definitely focus on the yacht part, because there is no point in someone who is trying to land, let's say, an IT job, visit your profile, learn some tips about CVs, but it's not about your industry specifically. So make the headline specific. The highlights, I think that you can add further highlights. For example, you can add testimonials, you can add your services, but there is definitely more room for improvement in the highlights. The call to action, I like quite a bit. The second line of your bio, here you can talk about more about the benefits of landing a job on a yacht. I believe that this can strengthen your profile quite a bit because you add some kind of tangible results that people can look up to. So the second line, I would focus on that. The third line, the call to action, quite like. So all in all, the bio is okay. The headline is the problem, and highlights. Now, in terms of the content, I quite like that you're utilizing carousels. Great job. I like that your visual identity is consistent. So if you guys can notice, she's using the same gradients, she's using the same typography, she's utilizing her branded elements. So in that regards, great job. I believe that what is necessary is for you to hone down on your visual identity. So practice it a little bit more. Understand which posts perform better and why they perform better. Right now, I see that you're experimenting with different types of content, but I definitely think that you need to understand exactly why your certain types of posts work better, especially these videos, because I presume that they are the least well performing ones. And I'm not sure, you definitely don't use the right ratios for videos. You need to use 1-to-1 ratio. Right now, this is more horizontal than it is vertical. So you need to use 1-to-1 ratios when uploading this in order for it not to be cut out. But you need to play around with your visual identity and with the type of content that people like. So for example, this right here has 18 likes. So people definitely enjoy these kinds of posts. I think that people will enjoy posts of some of the locations that you have visited, but not edited like these. Yachty travels Barcelona. So I would just put an image of Barcelona and add clarity and branding inside of the captions, but make sure that the post itself looks natural, because it would perform way better and it would rank on hashtags way better. Right now, I presume that if we go into the solo traveler hashtag, you will see that these posts are all of people who are taking a screenshot, haven't edited it, they've just taken a picture and uploaded it without any editing, and that's why they rank here. Whilst in your case, because you have so much editing, people will skip it. They might think that this is an ad. So I would be super careful with the branding. Branding isn't only your visual identity, it's also your tone of voice. So if you leave the branding inside of your captions and make sure that this is one beautiful picture of Barcelona, I definitely think that it would perform way better. So this has been my feedback for you. Dorota, thank you so much for leaving your account in and giving me the opportunity to review it. I hope that it has been helpful. Please leave your thoughts in the chat if there was any questions that you had. Okay. The next profile is Success Psyche. I don't believe I have skipped yours because at least I don't see it. Okay. The next one is Success Psyche. Let's check it out. By the way, as mentioned, I will be doing a lot more of these reviews in the future. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss out. Okay. Success Psyche. I will try to find alternatives. I might prepare these profiles in advance for our future live streams because I don't enjoy that I'm wasting so much of your guys' time right now just searching for these profiles. So I definitely think that I will search for alternatives in the future. Okay, this is the profile right here. And because I know that a lot of you guys have joined later on, we have time for 3 more reviews. I will review Success Psyche right now. And I want you guys to leave in the chat a 1 sentence or 2 sentences why you guys want me to review your profile and what it would do to help you in your business or in your social media presence. And I will choose the next 2 reviews based on that. So take your time, write 1 or 2 sentences, reasons why I need to review your profile, and I will take a look at the next 2 profiles which capture my attention the most. Is this okay? Do you guys think that this is a good idea? Leave your thoughts in the chat right now whilst I am reviewing this profile. Okay, that's great. Aishwarya, thank you so much for your feedback. Sorry for butchering your name. Let's dive straight into this review. In terms of the handle, it's on the longer length. You have also used a symbol. I'd be super careful with this because it's hard to spell these things. Having said that, you have really strong keywords. You have success and you have psyche. So in this case, I definitely think that your handle is okay because of the keyword strengths, but I would be careful with symbols. Now, in terms of the profile picture, even from this distance, you guys can see that the text right here isn't legible at all. So I would probably only keep the light bulb icon that you have. The same feedback that I gave to Dorota a second ago. In terms of your headline, it is repeating your handle, so it's pointless. Change your headline to something which describes your page and is searchable. So use once again your keywords. And I'm starting to see people drop their descriptions, 1 to sentences. Thank you so much, Brancourt. Thank you so much, Manuel. You guys are doing great. So headline, make sure it has some keyword intensity. Now, in terms of the bio, you definitely haven't used all the space that you have in your bio. So I would take the tips that I gave to the other people right now. So first line, make it about the user, make it grabbing. Second line, give some benefit. Third line, call to action, and improve my bio. So I would start from scratch. Right now, I don't think that your bio is utilizing the full strength that it has. And you don't have any call to actions. So the least you can do is say to people, follow my profile for more coaching or mentoring or real life education. Now, in terms of the visual identity, again, this isn't well branded. You have put your logo right here. You have put your logo right here, but this isn't branding. You need to be consistent in the typography you use, the colors you use, even the elements that you utilize, the style that you implement these elements. So let's say this is the style that you're going to be utilizing. I would just change the text, change the person, probably change the color to my secondary color and make these types of posts consistent with this layout, with the logo in the top left, with this editing right here, with this quote right here. So I would try to find consistent templates for my profile. Oh, no, this is my feedback. I want to take a look at your guys' submissions right now, the reasons that you guys want to improve, and see who is going to be the next profile. Meanwhile, let me guys know, have you gotten reviews yet? I just got mine a couple of days ago. I submitted my first review on Instagram today, and I would love to hear your feedback. How have reels been for you? Have they been helpful? Whilst I'm reading through the submissions right now. Okay, I found one really interesting case by 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗧𝗂, Amigos del Mar. She has a lot of followers, but she's struggling to monetize them. So this is something which I believe can be super, super helpful for you guys. So the brand, yeah, you should definitely choose branding course for your page. Let's move on to the profile that Amigos del Mar has submitted. And I want you guys to continue leaving your messages so I don't miss them. Amigos del Mar. Okay. Here is the page. Right here, she has 25,000 followers, which again is a lot. Unfortunately, it isn't in English, so I cannot really give you feedback on the bio, but I can definitely help you with the monetizational aspects. So as you guys can see, she is consistent in posting. She also has a lot of followers, meaning that the problem isn't engagement. She's getting really well. Her engagements are really well in terms of likes, at least. I presume that her reels are also performing quite well. Let's check them out. Yeah, 21,000 views, 23,000 views. So you definitely are getting a lot of traffic to your page. But as you mentioned, you're struggling with the monetization. And this is really common with pages who don't produce their content. This is what I gave as feedback to World Activator. When you are basically curating content, or when you're trying to utilize some kind of theme pages, then building a sustainable audience and building a community is way harder. Because if I consume your content from your page, specifically 𝗨𝗂𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗂𝗧, or if I consume the same kind of content from someone else's page, doesn't matter to me. Whilst because I'm building a personal brand, you guys are here for my page reviews. You guys are here to get value from me specifically, and that enables me to charge a premium. So in your case, because you're a team page, you need to be aware that monetization comes harder. Having said that, it's not impossible. And there are a few things that you can definitely do. So the first thing is, the first monetization pillar is selling posts and doing brand partnerships. So I'm sure that there are companies in your industry which would like to get 2,000 likes on their posts. So if you can find these companies which have some products to sell, so find companies which have products to sell and offer them stories and posts. So paid partnerships. This is definitely one thing that you can offer. The second thing that you can offer is shout outs. So find pages again in your industry and offer them shout outs, of course, for some kind of charging. This is the second pillar that you can utilize. The third pillar is something called ClickBank. So it's affiliate marketing. So you can find affiliate programs of companies in your space, and then you can basically create a ClickBank account. It is super easy, and promote these products inside of your page naturally. So when someone from your page clicks your link and buys a certain product, you will get a percentage of the revenue. So utilizing ClickBank is definitely something quite powerful. Now, in terms of the other monetization pillars, except brand partnerships, shoutouts, and affiliate programs, you can also develop your own products, but that's something which is way more advanced. So I don't recommend you doing it in the beginning. Including hashtags in your bio. No, you don't need to do that. It looks spammy. Instagram is smart enough to scan your bio, so you don't have to input hashtags in order for it to be seen by Instagram. So this is my review for you, and I hope that it has been helpful. For monetization, you need to first be mindful that because this is more of a team page, monetization comes harder. It's not impossible. And there are a bunch of keywords that you can utilize in your monetization, such as shoutouts, brand partnerships, developing your own products, affiliate marketing. I definitely recommend you taking a look at all of these keywords, choosing a few and focusing on them. That will diversify your monetization strategy, allowing you to not only need one type of keyword to make money, but make money from a variety of keywords. So I hope that this feedback has been helpful. I will continue to take a look for another feedback, which would be the last for today's live. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you do, because I will be doing way more live streams such as this one. In terms of the marketing campaigns that you can do, I definitely recommend you investing money in Instagram stories, because they are the cheapest and one of the most effective mediums. Okay, I found my next page, which is from Kumar. His page is Confidence with Boji. I quite like this handle. Thank you for your submissions, everyone. If you weren't chosen, don't worry. I will make sure to make a lot of these lives in the future, because you guys obviously enjoy them. So Confidence with Boji. Okay. Confidence with Boji. This is the handle. The headline is Mind Style Architect. Architect is a different keyword. I would be careful with that, but overall, I quite like it. What I would probably do is to use the branding that you have right here. So Confidence with Boji. I would use the Boji part and use it in your headline. That's for sure. The second thing which I can notice is that you don't have any stories in the last 24 hours, which puts you at a disadvantage to everyone else who has stories in the 24 hours, who has that wrinkle around their profile picture, who are going to be standing out more. So I would definitely plan, as you have planned your feed and you have created a nice layout, I would definitely plan a strategy for my stories as well. Now, in terms of your bio, let's jump straight into it. The first line, boost your inner confidence. Okay, if I definitely lack inner confidence, I would want to learn more, which is the goal of the first line. The second line, level up your style, grooming, and relationship game. Okay, these are connected, so you can definitely say all three of these. Level up your style, grooming, your style game, your grooming game, your relationship game. Okay, that pans out. What I would probably do is, because game is the main keyword right here, I would probably change the emoji which you have right here to something gaming related. I presume that let's say 90% of your audience is male, so gaming is a big thing for them. You can get away with utilizing a gaming emoji. Now, the third line is something which I don't think you need. Right now, you have a really strong beginning with the first two lines: boost your inner confidence, level up your style, grooming, and the relationship game. So I definitely don't think you need the third line, which is shape your personality inside out. I'll probably remove it and jump straight into the call to action, which is check out Indus Valley products. I presume that this isn't your company and this is some kind of affiliate deal. Am I right? Probably. Okay, so in this case, I would definitely be careful. You haven't built authority for Indus Valley. You have built authority for yourself, for the Boji, for Sushant. So I would be careful who I promote. I would probably say check out some quality men products, let's say, or some quality grooming products, or some quality style products, but I wouldn't mention Indus Valley, because from what I can understand this far, this isn't something which is related to you. This is probably some kind of affiliate deals. Of course, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but at least from now, I would be careful with the link that I am utilizing. In terms of your highlights, you are a mind and style architect. you're helping people level their style, grooming, and relationship game. Instant growth isn't one of these things. So I would definitely remove this highlight. Yes, it's okay to do milestones. It is okay to give back to the community, but this is pointless for what you're trying to accomplish. I would probably do something which is, let's say, style, grooming, relationship tips. So this is something which you can do. Let's say you can do, you can combine them and say style tips, and this can be something which you upload to your stories, let's say every single day, a small tip in your stories, and then you can put them as a highlight. This will definitely bring more value to your audience rather than what you currently have as instant growth. Another highlight that I would utilize and you don't have is about me highlight. So currently, no way in hell that I can learn more about you. I only know your name and I only know that you're a bot, but I would enjoy learning more about you. So this is my feedback for highlights. In terms of your profile, I quite like the newsfeed, which you have made consistent. It's not necessary, but it's an added bonus. From what I can see, you get quite a bit of engagement. These types of single image posts work really well on hashtags, so I presume you're getting a lot of hashtag reach. I presume that your videos though are underperforming. That's my guess. Oh, they are not underperforming actually. They're quite healthy. Good for you. Good for you. Videos don't usually work really well unless you have a really strong community. But in your case, they seem to be working. Great. Good, a really good job. If your videos are performing great, then your community must be strong. So great job in that regard. In terms of your carousels, this is a list carousel. They always work really well. One thing that I noticed straight on is you're using a lot of these list carousels, which is great, but the slides which are before that, the slides which are before that don't really capture my attention. So they have a lot of text, making it hard for people to reach to the main portion of the carousel, which is this list. So right now you have a lot of text right here before I even reached this. So I would be super careful with the carousel structure that I'm utilizing. For example, let's see this post of mine, which is also a list post. 6 books to dominate marketing. First slide. Second slide, save these books and crush marketing. Call to action. Then third slide is directly the list that I promised. So I would probably do something similar. In your case, you take far too much time until you get to the main point, which the people have come for. So I would be super careful with what you're doing in that regard. But overall, great job. I quite like your profile. You've done a phenomenal job for your industry. Keep up the great work. Thank you to every single one who joined us in this live. We went for more than 1 hour, but it was such a pleasure. If I didn't get the chance to review your profile or didn't get the chance to answer your questions, you can definitely hit me up in the Instagram DMs or check my YouTube channel because I presume that I've made videos on most of your questions. If not, make sure to tune in my next YouTube lives by again subscribing to my YouTube channel and receiving those notifications. Lastly, the last question that I'm going to be answering is, I'm confused which color I should choose for my branding. Can you suggest me? This is a really complex subject. You need to think about yourself, what you enjoy. You need to think about what your audience will enjoy as well. And you need to be thinking about what your competitors are already doing. So I suggest you thinking about these three aspects deeply, finding overlaps between what you're doing, what your competitors aren't doing, and what your audience is going to be enjoying, and then picking your core based on that. If you need specific guidance, DM me on Instagram and I will send you a profile or a post about that. Thank you once again to every single one who joined us. I'm super grateful for every single one of you brave ones. Have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.